Hey guys, this is Cam315 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another Police in a Pod episode review for you guys. And this week we're covering episode 3. Now, sorry for the late upload. I know this episode came out yesterday, but obviously I wanted to get this episode up just to talk about it and stuff like that. And plus, I was pretty busy yesterday. You obviously saw my Wednesdays can get quite busy, but anyways, yes. Police in a Pod came out yesterday, and this episode was really freaking good. I enjoyed the solid episode here. It wasn't as dark as last week's episode was, but I definitely enjoyed this episode. Anyways, let's get onto the two scenarios here. So the first scenario kind of details getting an understanding of a newer character introduced to the show, Minamoto. And he works for criminal affairs and everything, the other side to this whole police operation here. And we see that this first part is centered around this one girl, or this one old lady who kind of used to have, I guess you can say in her vision, a perfect lifestyle, where she lived with her family, but after her daughter eventually moved out and lived on her own, she only truly lived with her husband. And the thing is, she lived with her husband for quite a while until her husband tragically passed away, and then she kind of just was alone. And I like the line how she said, when I cooked, I was cooking for my husband, but after my husband passed away, I was only cooking for myself, and I just didn't get much enjoyment. And then it kind of led her doing some things that she probably wouldn't do. Like, she went to the store to buy food, but she walked out without paying, and she became a problem and created trouble and everything. So that was interesting. I found it hilarious how the fact that she is completely infatuated with Minamoto. She just wants to see him because when Kawhi and Fuji are there, she's like, policewoman, I despise you guys. And it's funny because she's like, she even tells Kawhi and Fuji, like, listen, you girls better enjoy it while you have it. I remember when I was in my youth, I had the beauty of ages. But you see, you need to understand, when that beauty is gone, they're gonna look at you like freaking decrepit old ladies and stuff like that. And I found it hilarious how she tied this into like fairy tales, because all the pretty princesses always somewhat get, I guess you can say, in the situation because of an old lady, whether it's an old witch or in Snow White, in Cinderella's, her old mother and everything. I literally was like, bro, are you serious, man? That's funny, and stuff like that. But the way how this problem resolves is the fact that we had Minamoto come in. Like I said, she freaking is thirsty over Minamoto. She wants to see Minamoto like crazy. We find out that Minamoto made a deal with her mom, or her daughter. Her daughter comes back, as well as her grandson, which kind of is a shock to the old lady. And we find out that the grandson and the old lady, or the grandma and the grandson, haven't seen each other in a very long time. We kind of get a backstory to where Minamoto went over to her daughter's home, and the daughter essentially said, I'll take care of her and survey her and make sure she's all right and everything, as well as making sure that the grandson gets to see his grandma again, because we find out that it's been a long time, because the grandson has been focusing on school and everything. And we see like the grandson pull up like a old picture of him and his grandma when they used to, I guess, hang out a lot together and everything. And they made a deal. In fact, well, she'll live with them and stuff like that and be taken care of. And that whole family thing was not, they can reconnect and she doesn't have to feel alone, everything, which I thought it was nice, and everything. That the fact that sometimes maybe even grandparents might have to live with their former kids or in-laws and stuff like that, just be there, because sometimes that alone presence can be a little bit overbearing for them. and stuff like that. Like, listen, no, but and that goes for anybody. Nobody wants to be alone. Maybe having like somebody living alongside or living with somebody can make your life a little bit better because you actually have somebody to talk to instead of you just go back home and you just have, well, you're just by yourself unless you have like a pet or something like that, but you really can't talk to your pet because your pet can't talk back to you. So, that was cool. And then the back half, the second issue revolves around Utah. I believe he showed himself up in episode 1. Essentially at first he gets caught for obviously smoking cigarettes in a place he shouldn't be smoking in. And he gets pulled in, and when the mom obviously comes to pick him up and, discharge him and everything, essentially the mom kind of gives this impression like she doesn't give a crap about the son, about Utah. But then what happens is Fuji and Kawhi get a call to a house about a father-in-law dying, and they see that it's Utah's house and everything. So they go in, and essentially this whole episode was Fuji essentially mentoring Kawhi through an examination of how to take place in one and what to do and everything, and essentially walking her Kawhi through this examination, which I thought was pretty freaking cool, and stuff like that, to be honest. So they get there. Obviously, father passed away, and obviously Minamoto and his criminal affairs group are also there to help examine the body, along with the police people, obviously Fuji and Kawhi. And I did find it hilarious how Kawhi was giving the funny reactions to this whole examination and everything. But the one thing I did like about the fact is that, we've seen Fuji be a little bit of a comedic like character, but here she was mentoring Kawhi and saying like, hey, Kawhi, listen, this is a serious topic. You need to be respectful. You need to take this seriously. And I also liked how the other people, the other people make to mention like, listen, you got to make sure like you take this seriously, like just ignore everything. Like, for example, when they eventually take off the robe and obviously the old man's naked and everything, Kawhi's like, I just can't see, this is the first time I've seen a man, like that, or seen a man naked. And obviously one of the other officers were like, listen, you're gonna have to block all your other thoughts out and take this seriously, because we need to actually check this body to see, is there any foul play involved? Is there any other stuff going on to where maybe he was killed not by natural causes, and stuff like that. So I definitely did appreciate that. And just even looking into this, it's like, Jesus, just looking at this examination is like, Jesus, with everything that goes on in the real world with these like examinations over like dead bodies, it's really crazy that, these cops actually have to like take this like literally serious. They have to put on like a legit straight face. Cause I know even cops, they see like more gorier details and stuff like that if it's at a death scene, everything, just to examine it. Trust me, that's why I never send them to be a cop, because I don't think I can handle that type of responsibility and everything. And like they even had it to where there was like obviously I guess leftover feces of said man, and obviously Kawhi's like, oh, disgusting, and Fuji's like, Kawhi, take this serious now. And it's pretty shocking because they have to actually, these officers actually have to keep a straight face, and they can't make sure to like mess around and say extracurricular activities. They got to complete it basically because this is their job. They got to examine like, okay, was this involved and stuff like that and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool and everything. Now they eventually flip over the body. Now Fuji sees something. Kawhi doesn't pick this up, but Fuji sees it, and I'm like, uh-oh, did something actually happen? So at the end of the episode, they go in to tell the lady, listen, sadly your father-in-law passed away, obviously, because you care for some instance. I did like the fact that they obviously too, they also made the mention before they started the examination. Now I don't know if they do this here in America. If you do know this, please put that in the comment section. I don't know if they just do this strictly in Japan, but before the entire examination started off, they obviously prayed for the body, that obviously it has a safe transfer, if you believe in religion and stuff like that, to the afterlife in terms of going to heaven and everything, and it has a proper, bringing of rest. I definitely did like that. But like I said, I don't know if in America we do that. I don't think we do, but in Japan, I definitely could see it to where they're doing. It also reminded me of Fire Force, the show, because obviously before they take out Infernals, they always pray to their god in that anime, for the sisters in that anime, which did take me back. But I definitely did like the fact how, when Kawhi is kind of just stumbling around, the people are like, listen, we're trying to treat this body with respect. You got to know that, okay? Because this is what we're trying to do. But anyways, at the end of the episode, I did like how they prayed over for the body after, they put the incense there and everything. And I definitely did like how Fuji, before she left, we find out that essentially the lady, or that the body, the father-in-law, was in very good condition still, even though it was just a dead body for a couple of days and everything. And Fuji makes a mention of telling the lady, like, hey, you did a really good job in taking care of that body, and stuff like that. And that's pretty cool and everything. And we find out that, yes, the lady did take care of her father-in-law. And, after obviously they leave, Yuta sees that, my mom's hands, they've been working just to take care of the body and everything. And obviously he gained a new respect for his mother and everything and appreciated her. And then, the episode ends off where it seemingly he looks like he wants to turn his life around and become a good citizen, which I found it funny how at the end he's running away. He's like, damn it, I can't do it. I can't be good at these police officers. But seemingly it seems like Yuta wants to turn his life around just because he got respect for what his mother did, which it definitely was really nice. That was some pretty damn beautiful writing. And it actually hits the home. And the fact that and it was pretty emotional too, especially when the mother found out about what Fuji was saying. She started to break down in tears because obviously she put all this hard work in and everything, and stuff like that. So that's pretty amazing. But this episode of Police in a Pod was a really damn good episode. I enjoyed this episode a lot. So yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode of Police in a Pod. Did you enjoy it? And stuff like that. Again, like I said, I think Police in a Pod, it's probably not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I definitely do think it's one of the very few sleepers of the winter of anime 2022, where I think you should maybe check out the first episode or two, or this is like the type of point in the season where you check out all 3 episodes and say, okay, am I feeling this? If I'm not, I'm just going to probably drop it, and stuff like that. But I'm getting enjoyment out of it. I like it just for the seriousness, because I always did want to understand what goes into a police force and everything, especially the fact that we're getting an anime about police, doing just the day-to-day operations of police officers do. Well, it's pretty cool and stuff like that. So yeah, and there is some comedy here and there, but I definitely do like when they touch on these serious topics, because in this line of work, it is legit serious. You got to take this with a, you got to take this seriously, because, they deal with some pretty serious topics and stuff like that. But yeah, but anyways, hit the subscribe button. You want to get more Police in the Pod episode reviews, as well as any of the other Winter of Anime 2022 content, as well as any other anime I upload to the channel. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night when checking this video. Until then, guys, peace.